Hello, everybody. How are y'all doing? So good to see you. If you are here, then you have fulfilled your destiny. So welcome. Congratulations on that. I mean, that's a big deal. And Trina, I'm making sure that everything we're live, and there we are. I see you and I. So you and I have done some time travel together, which is pretty far out. You have to
Yeah.
admit that. I mean, come on, that's freaking cool, folks.
Oh, it is.
Anyway, so good to see y'all. Let me just speak favor on behalf of Trina and myself, and I think Jenny will be here eventually. We speak favor over you and upon you. May it always abide with you and be your constant companion.
Yes.
Smile.
Yes.
Let's make someone smile day. And by the way, nothing missing, nothing broken. So, hello, everyone in the chat room. We send love to you, healing, and we give thanks
Mhm.
for you. And I see Grandpa Brian in the
Yeah.
house, Mr. Floyd, Emperor Rex, Bernadette, Ghana Sabina, Scotty Boy, Wendy,
Hello.
Chloe, how you doing, hon? Or I hope you still got
Hello.
power down there. Gaia, Deborah Sloan.
Mhm.
Deborah Sloan is like she's the rally point. She's always in here. So
She's so wise too. I love her frequency.
yeah, I
I
tell you,
love her
she is
frequency.
so cool. There's so many good people. Cecilia, good to see you as well. Um, so I want to just show everyone real quick. So Street Mom, as she is known,
Mhm.
um, you know, Brenda, she sent me these. These are handcrafted, made out of
Wow.
cherry wood. And these were
Oh,
trees
wow.
that were cut down because they're making housing, I understand, for the homeless. Street
Yeah.
Mom she's an advocate for the homeless. That has been her mission. We have so many genuinely beautiful spirit beings that they walk the talk.
Yes.
And Street Mom is one of those. And so she sent me a letter. So these trees, cherry, they artisans there, they hand make these.
That is
Wow.
amazing. I am so grateful to see these old trades and these skills coming back. I mean, all this plastic stuff I watch it, it's all going to start to dissolve. And these are the things that are going to last, the things that are made
Yeah.
from earth, the organic substances. That
No computer
spoon.
can make some, play
Yeah.
instruments. And so one other thing, this is their paper. I just want to show everybody. This is in West
Wow.
Virginia. And so it's wonderful to see communities in a situation in homelessness as everybody, but here in the United States, it is increased to such a degree that where I read recently families that are now what they call mobile families is because they live in their cars.
Yeah.
So
And a lot of the young, like, 18 to 25, because their parents are like, get out, and they can't afford living. So
yeah, and
we've
there's a
got
lot
both
now
of
the
those
parents are, ending up
struggling.
out there. Yeah, it's crazy. So thank
Yeah.
you, Brenda. We love you, much love as well. And
Thank you.
you know, so welcome. And by the way, I have a sense I haven't heard back from Kaz, and typically she does respond pretty quickly. So again, keep her in your thoughts, your prayers, your meditations, and um I don't know what it signifies. I'm only projecting here, so assuming that it has something to do with her father. So, you know,
Okay.
cancer sucks. That's all I got to say. Hey,
Yeah.
Gogo, all the way from Croatia. And Rick,
Hi,
Shirley, much
Coco.
love to you, darling. Lost in space. Hello, buddy. So, Joyce, good to see you, dear Esley. And anyway, I think I saw Susie Q. I could be wrong. Anyway,
Yes.
hello there, Jenny. How are you?
Hi,
I'm good.
Jenny.
Hi, beautiful. I've been really productive this week. So I've plumbed in a washing machine, a dishwasher. and a tumble dryer that I had to get through a wall this thick for the vent. But it's all in preparation for me having a dedicated workspace where I don't have to go to my mum's dedicated workspace, to prepare all the teas and the oils and whatnot. So it means I can close it off and use the isopropyl alcohol in there and nobody else touches. So just is making the transition, getting ready for everything so good. And it was just strength from spirit that got me through that wall. And it does get me through doing things that my size, my medical issues shouldn't allow me to do. And damn, I got through that wall. I don't know how. It felt like a quantum leap of 2 days getting through it. And it was spiritual that, you can hook into that space in yourself and move things, like they spoke about in ancient esoteric stories. You can shift, you can get into that space where you can move a car, if you
Yeah.
need to. And I do that quite often. And this week has been like on fire with that when I sort of, even I'm turning around and looking at this perfect circular hole through the wall and just admiring it in the morning and thinking, I haven't got no clue how I got through that wall. No clue at all. So, credit to the ethers that gave me the strength to do it. So, and I'm sending love out to Kaz. I'll get in touch with her and reach out to her for sure to
So
see
that
if there's
makes
any.
you happy, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, so
So
happy.
the question I have from the polling question, so what makes you happy?
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
that achievement,
yeah,
achievement,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
doing it without needing full explanation as to how I did that. And again, this circular hole through a wall that is about this deep. Um, there's just the fact that I've managed to make this shape. I've literally lived off it for the last 2, 3 days because
It's
it's
so
been made.
cosmic too, the circle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The tunnel.
yeah.
Yeah. The
Oh,
portal.
yeah. Out the port now, and you can see right outside,
That's
and
my point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
see the
See
Yeah.
right
birds
into another
flying around
world. You
the
think about
birds.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
like a
is it
lens.
perfect metaphor? I mean, if
Yeah.
you have to make a hole, no matter how you look at it, you're making a portal because you
Yes,
Yeah.
got two different views from two different sides.
absolutely. And now I could see the birds flying and dipping down for the. I caught so many sights that they didn't know I was there seeing it. I saw the cat being naughty towards a bird and was able to hiss at her through the hole, and she got the
Yeah.
shock of her life, because I was out of nowhere. Where's this hiss coming from? So
Maybe
you
that's
have
how
got.
the gods see us. We don't realize that there's
Totally.
these holes in
Yeah.
the earth. Literally,
Yeah,
there's holes.
You know
And
yeah,
where I see the hole, Wayne?
where's that, hon?
Through your optic thalamus. They can tune
Yeah.
into the tunnel of your vision. They literally can go into the tunnel of your vision. Yeah, it's spot on.
The Watchers.
Yeah,
That's how they do it. Man,
tapping
there's
into your
esoteric
eyes.
knowledge flowing back and forth here. I mean, holy crap. Hello,
Yeah.
finding
Jackie. Good to see you,
happiness in
darling.
something
And Source
like
Frequency.
that
How are you?
does build your happiness, and it finding happiness in the generic present things. It stops you from getting that burnout feeling, and to take time to really appreciate achievements, when they're half done, when you're middle way through, when it's at the end, and to know that all of the components that then all of a sudden a dishwasher can be pushed back, a washing machine can be pushed back, a tumble dryer can be pushed back, and now I've got a bench. And it's like all from that one hole I couldn't do any of those other things until I got this hole done and the vent, plumbed into, like, attached to the tumbler. All of it relied on this hole being done first. And everything after that came with such ease, to push everything back, and everything was in alignment. And that's how I find my spiritual power, in that the most ridiculous of things are holes through the wall. I have real.
That's the organic, real magic of this world. It's you got desire,
Yeah.
passion, will, intention, and you're manifesting, and you're like, oh, I have this huge challenge, and you break through it. And that's when you really start to understand how you can do the impossible, and
Yeah.
that's real and it's organic and it's not planned. It's just the universe showing you. That's
Yeah.
so powerful. I love it.
Yeah.
I have a certain, when I was deeply into my religion, um, I was used to always calling on the Holy Spirit to reveal things to me. If, for
Mhm.
instance, I was looking for my car keys, where did I put them or where
Mhm.
are they? And I was meditating this week and just realizing, how much religion taught me the occult. I just didn't know it was the
Mhm.
occult. It's like I thought it was religion. But
Yeah.
the point is Jenny, as you were doing that, I have no doubt that there were spirit guides guiding you along with this knowledge that, one would not assume that you had readily available, much less the
100%.
physical labor.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And that, like the space that I can get in, that really, my back seized up a bit, but I shouldn't be able to walk from the MRIs that I have, So when I push through that, there's such a dialogue between me, what you could call spirit guides, family, spiritual family, and also people in the ethers around me. I've talked to you this week. I've talked to Trina. I've spoken to Susie. I've spoken, and not in words, just as I've been working. And the
Mhm.
dialogue between all of that is a guide, that I know I receive dialogue back from the people I speak to, whether they're in this realm with me or not. And
Mhm.
it is that dialogue that you do sort of sit back and think, that hole was revealing. That hole, like any hole, is a goal. If you if you want to put it that way, if you
Yeah.
want to talk to yourself about it. Um, we're
You
not
know how
showing
I know
everybody.
that you're thinking of me? Because I can be doing something and then, like
This pops in your head.
your image, yeah, it's
Yeah,
like,
me too.
okay, she's calling up like, hey babe, what's going on?
What's
Yeah,
up?
yeah.
Right.
And sometimes it's like,
Right.
I've got your six.
you
I'm
know,
watching
got your
your back.
six, baby, got your back,
That's right.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. And again, it's just so odd when you think about it. We converse here very the flow of the energy, and it's delightful because we experience these commonalities that I can tell you a lot of people in the outside world don't believe in. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
they think that we are really on the fringe.
But it's so
Maybe we
funny when you
are, but
but when you look at children, this is what they're trying to
it's
do
normal for
naturally,
them.
right? And they're shutting them down. And it's like, no, this is how we actually unify, is when all of us come together and realize that we are one at the smallest part of it. We're one. So we're all individualized of this, but we're learning to unify through our separation, and that diversity is going to be the fullness of our new creation of this earth. And it's going to be so amazing.
I have a
So amazing.
theory that that's why they, particularly in modern industrial countries in the United States, for instance, the introduction of fluoride to
Yeah.
children,
Mm.
and that immediately shuts down the pineal gland, that the flow of the communication to the ethereal realm. I'm convinced that that gland takes over, depending on where it is at your stage at death. This is what unleashes this. Scientists know what it is, they just can't identify it. Something happens within that pineal gland that begins to, it shows up on the MRIs.
Yeah.
Something's happening. It's like it's almost collecting the consciousness, our consciousness.
That's
Yeah.
why it's the lotus flower, Wayne. You know how you're
Yeah.
seeing through a point of focus?
Mm-hmm.
When you connect to the pineal gland, and the pineal gland, what's happening is it's vibrating. And through
Yeah.
that vibration, it's opening up other channels. So now
Mm-hmm.
you not only have one point of focus, you have 144,000 opportunities to grasp or lock into, because you've opened up that antenna, and you literally can grab whatever you're resonating to. So that's why, like, when you have a passion or you want to figure an idea out, when you start locking into those frequencies are unlocking above you, but you have to get to a certain vibration, which is through the vibration of the optic thalamus and the optic nerve. When those optics start to shift, it shifts what you see.
Oh, I listen, it's the same effect whether you have, like, for instance, LSD. What
Yes.
I have found is, as I remember distinctly, is the visual that you begin to notice that something is shifting in your reality and your point of view of what reality is
What
supposed to be.
is.
Yeah. The mental part kicks in after that, because once the visual cortex is stimulated, and so I look at it today, and all we were doing was taking a shortcut into the spirit realm, the
What's
realm.
organic.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
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 it
that's
already
what,
exists.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's why, we have all the symbology with the eye.
Yeah,
This
the
is
all yeah.
all what this is. This is everything is telling you right there. And that's why it has been so inverted and turned into darkness. Because again, avoid the eye. God, we don't want the kids to get a hold of the eye. Oh, shit.
It's just on their money. It's just about, wherever you look, but hey, don't look at that. Can't look at that.
Controlling your vision.
Yeah.
When they control what you see, they control your mind. It's so connected because
Well,
what we see.
television is the whole
Yes.
point, that we tell the vision of the controllers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now I sound like, the Outer Limits. There's nothing wrong with your television.
The
For the
news.
next
Right.
30 minutes, we will take control of what you see, hear, and feel.
Yes.
In Trina in the background shouting, "Get mad!
Exactly.
Get really mad! Get
Uh,
mad! Turn off your TV!
so
Look
Trina,
outside!"
what makes you happy?
Makes me happy is
Yeah.
watching people activate their powers. I love to see people heal. I love to awaken people's minds, and that's my passion. Yeah. And once you've done the healing and you've seen these things, there's kind of no turning back from that. It's like you can't unpop the popcorn, and that has been my greatest joy, is to serve, serve humanity into a higher, happier vibration. Yeah,
Cool.
it's my greatest
I
joy.
wake up happy because
I
I
do
wake up with a
too.
song all the time. Now I have my moments, everybody does, but for the
Yeah,
most part, you know, I
yeah.
when I pass, I'm going to be singing a song. I have no doubt. I'll be ushering into the other side, and they're going to so, all right, stage right, get the mic and go, buddy.
Yeah.
Cue Sinatra. Cue Sinatra.
Yes. Mhm.
So I asked the question yesterday, and I'd like to get your two perspectives on this. So, what would you say that you have gained in your pursuit of occult knowledge?
Everything,
Okay.
everything. A whole new understanding of why why we fight over religion, why we fight over politics. By seeing so many different perspectives of God and how different religions believe about
Hmm.
God, and from the Buddhist to the Hindu to the Sikhs to the Muslims to all of it. When you look at all these different traditions, they all have a lot of core truths in their belief foundations. They just use different names, but it's the same thing. And when I looked at all these differences, when the thing that came to me over and over again was there are way more common things than there are not. So the foundational truths and the roots, we all seem to really kind of want the same thing, which is a basic desire to be acknowledged, appreciated, and valued within your community. It
You see,
literally comes down to that.
I see you two as occult priestess in a sense, but very different modalities. With you, Trina, I
Mhm.
see you in working with the energies that
Yeah.
are effective to our spirit beings, where
Yeah.
Jenny, I see you as the alchemist that works with the plant kingdom, the animal kingdom, and you are able to extract out of the things of the earth that affect the energy that someone such as Trina would be seen as a cause and effect. And so when I look at this, I'm in such awe of that because there is this hidden knowledge that I'm being exposed to by both of you and getting to know you both. It's it's a joy. It makes me happy. Yeah.
Me too. And I've seen your magic, and from what you've done with religion, it's so beautiful because it was confirmation for me that all of us were taught some level of magic through our religions.
Yeah, yeah,
If you've ever had one,
yeah,
that was your introduction to the occult.
yeah,
So the things that are hidden, the powers of the spirit, the powers of God, those are all hidden mysteries. And we've always been taught to go outside, so we don't know how to utilize it because to manifest this power means you become one with it. And one with the creator is a beautiful place to sit. So this is why they pull us out, out, out instead of knowing, no, this is all coming from what you create. And
yeah.
you're so right, Wayne. I am a plasma fire baby, and
Yeah, I mean,
Jenny is the elemental queen, and she can work with
yeah, yeah.
all of the elements at her command, and fire being one.
Jenny, you're
And
a
that's
powerful witch. I mean,
yeah. You know,
I
another
just,
thing they keep telling me over and over: get back to the foundation. It's
yeah,
all elemental,
a
and
wise woman you both are.
and a wise wizard you are.
Well, I got my hat over there, but so Jenny, what have you gotten out of the occult and in the decades or ever as long?
Mhm.
I think we've all been pursuing that knowledge which we knew existed but wasn't readily taught.
When we were
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I was brought into it. I was brought into a very occult family. My mum's a very accomplished priestess.
Yeah.
She's a
Yeah. Love to have
um,
her on sometime.
yeah, yeah, she'd be great. She's working all the time, but she's a very accomplished priestess. And then I was obviously exposed, like you, Wayne, to the American big swingers, that were coming over for all these revivals. We were
Mm.
hosting them, we were putting them up. I was playing with the kids that came with them, and so that was deep occult. So I never remember a time when I wasn't in some sort of occult, but what it's taught me, it's such a big question. I would say I've become friends with myself.
Mm.
Become through
Mhm.
esoteric knowledge and through the service of others. And like Trina said, the greatest joy is like I've seen a few friends just in the last few months taking business readings and taking the advice. And I can give that. But when I see somebody like taking it and using it for all it's worth, that brings me the greatest joy, when I see them applying it. And even when I see them applying it and think, wow, that was a wild card that came out of that activation because they're putting their essence to your guidance. And so you see things that you weren't expecting to in them. And it's like, yeah. So, but what I've learned from esoteric knowledge is to be friends with myself. I'm friends with my doubt. I don't fear my doubt anymore. So the part of me that is doubt that comes in for everybody that speaks to you when you're about to do something with those doubtful things, my doubt now is actually accustomed to me throwing questions back at it, not in an aggressive way, saying, but doubt, teach me, where are those gaps that I need to fill? Doubt, give me what your problem is, let me know. And actually, it's doubt has become a troubleshooter for me. Um, Anger has become a charging point for me. I've learned how to allow myself to get angry I've always been able to get righteously angry, as everybody here knows. I can go off on a tangent easily. But the anger, self-anger of my own preservation, I find difficult. I've actually learned how to charge that just as an energy without the labels and limitations that anger has put on it. The same with doubt, the same with love. So I've learned to become friends with all aspects of myself, even those parts of me that I felt disappointed in myself at times or less than. I've become friends with that, and that's given me sovereignty over those different fractals of me. And so it does mean I can draw from a lot of sources of energy. And so that's what I would say it's given me for one answer.
I love that. Yeah, and to identify with yourself. When I was in Christianity, it was such a game. It was a cycle. You know, you go through what is normal living, but in some way, even if you don't do anything, you've sinned. And so
Yeah.
it was this repetitive cycle of this negative feedback to myself because you're seeking to be so righteous, you know, emulating Christ, and you find that you fall so short of that ideal. No
Mm,
human can reach it.
uh-huh.
And decades of that begin to lead into what I call the nasties. It's those self-doubts that begin to take root and they become egregores in a sense. And so you
Yes.
have this internal struggle with
Yeah.
yourself. And I was lost in that. I mean, it would ruin relationships. It would, because you get into this thing where you say, well, I did it, you know, whatever it was or is, and it always feels like there's the failure moment, even in great successes.
Yeah.
Now, what the occult has taught me, and I'll lay it out there very simply, the occult has taught me to love me,
Yeah.
that there is no sin. There
Yeah.
is nothing but what I limit myself to or surround myself with.
Or perceive. Yeah. Yeah.
It's
One
that
of the
knowledge.
greatest parts of finding my joy was when I started to let go of all of it. All the programs. I was like, I'm gonna see what this means for me. And through that process, you when you start diving into yourself, that's when you start diving into some of the past histories of what you've done. Like I have memories of Atlantis, I have memories of Lemuria, I have memories of different times. And some of those endings were very traumatizing. So it helped me to understand where my core trauma was. It was deep because I was having a hard time finding it on the surface. So I knew it was deeper inside of me. And through this unlayering and running into these memories and this trauma, and then understanding how I built this warrior inside me and how she was bruised and beat up and hurt. And oh God, she's been just beat up and died with Pegasus and just horrible, hard things. When you start to unlock the trauma inside of you and you can make peace with it and heal your own pain and heal your own trauma, it transmutes into your strongest team. Like you turn your darkness into your greatest power. So you can, instead of it being the condemner, now it's the ultimate protector. So you can shift all those programs through turning it from a victim into a warrior. And that was a key transition for me. Key,
Hmm,
huge,
that would.
huge. It was huge.
I always
I
I
look
had to
at
totally.
the,
actually heal my broken self,
yeah,
and I put her back together. And I said, I've got you now, and we can do this together. But no, you don't ever have to do this alone. I've always got you, you got me. So it's kind of like a merging of my twins. It was
hmm.
power.
I can say that, and it's still a discovery, but you know, I found God. because when I dug deep enough, I found myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Funny you're
There's nowhere
there.
else.
Yeah.
And that's very simply how it is. If
Mhm.
if I truly am energy, and if consciousness can, I'm going to be doing a show that death is survivable, because we all have that hope, and we've seen the evidence that consciousness is transcendental in its existence. So this consciousness is either going to be joined with one, or that's going to continue to evolve, but it's energy. We're all gods. If you look within inside, you're going to see yourself.
Well,
That is the
God's
image
give
of what
birth to
God
gods.
is.
Yeah. Gods make gods.
Yeah. I
So
mean,
all of it's God.
now the
All of
soul
it.
thing is an interesting dynamic, because it may be that the soul is this unique, um it's birthed out of us, and it's quite interesting because it is us, but then again it's not us.
Yeah.
The spirit observes this conversation of the soul, because the soul's going, wait a minute,
You
I've
know
got
what? I've been digging into this deep, Wayne, because I always challenge with this. I'm confused. Do we have it backwards? Is it the spirit? Is it the soul? And what they're showing me over and over again right now is, imagine the soul as the computer system from the sun. So you have
Mhm.
to have this soul to enter into these constructs. You cannot enter without the soul construct, because it's an operating template. So they're showing me the soul is like it's an operating system, and you can mimic it, you can copy it to have operating systems, but there's an organic soul that's different, and that's the true essence of the creation power of what we would call the love energy, that God thing. So all these labels are what trip us up, but it's all so simple when you look at it as an elemental thing. And it seems to me like the spirit gives animation, it gives breath. So I wonder if the spirit is the part that gives you the individualized persona, but the soul is collective.
Yeah. Hello, Theo. Want to say hi? How you doing, my
Oh, I see
friend?
Theo. Hi, Theo.
Good to see you. Trust you've had a good day.
He's so
Yeah.
cute.
Yeah.
He's been puppy,
Is
haven't
he
you?
now? Are the children on summer vacation there?
No, not yet. Another week and a half, and then they're on vacation for about 7 weeks. So it's a
Wow.
long holiday in the middle of the year.
So they go
But
to school in June
You
and
must hear
July.
Wayne.
That's very
yeah,
interesting. Wow.
yeah, definitely. So you break up in about a week and a half, don't you? Yeah, 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 about
Well,
that.
ours
Lex,
start here in just what, 4 weeks?
yeah, at the end of August, they'll be going back up. So, Theo, do
Yeah.
you like school?
No. He likes
So,
aspects of it, but not the
what is it?
entirety of
What is it that you don't like the most?
everything. Everything. Oh, and so Wayne, what is it? Is it? I was, I was joking. I know you're joking. He loves it. He says he's joking. He loves it. He loves the
No.
people. He loves the
That's what
children.
I was like, you
Yeah,
like the people, right, Theo? I
I
did too. It's my
interaction.
favorite part.
Trina knows. But he likes the people. He likes the playtime. He's really funny. He's really great at roasting and
Yeah.
telling jokes off the cuff. So people love him. So when we're coming home, it's like a roll call for Theo. All of these different people he's shouting out the window, bang, look. Theo. Oh, he's saying little stories when I get home. Yeah, he says little stories when he gets
Uh-huh.
home.
Well, a
But
sense of humor, Theo, is a sign of high intelligence.
yeah, he's really good at it.
So,
So you can't
you're a
you
smart
tell
dude.
he has you if he once he gets you to smile, you've lost any sort of ground you were fighting on anyway. So he's pretty good at that, at bringing out smiles in people. Um, even when he's under a bit of fire, aren't you? You're good at making mommy smile when I really don't want to. I really want to keep a
I
straight
love that.
face. Um,
That's a
uh,
gift. That
yeah,
truly
it's a real
is. I
gift.
love
Oh
it,
yeah, he's a negotiator. Go on then, go. No, I want to stay. No, no, go. Um,
See you, Theo.
Bye,
Yeah.
Good
Theo.
talking to you, my friend.
And it would look nice with a mohawk. Whoever said
oh, he says yes, Scotty boy would look nice with a mohawk. He's been talking about a mohawk recently.
See
Bye,
ya.
Theo.
Let's wait till next year.
God, he's so stinking cute. Oh,
Uh,
Sorry about that.
want to hug
But
that child. Mm,
you know,
it's
just
so
just
cuddly.
seeing Theo brings joy, you know. It's like what makes
it
you
truly
happy.
does.
It's and it's so good and I appreciate Jenny that you allow him to come in and say
Me
hi to
too.
everybody because Theo is a reminder to all of us, no matter
Yeah.
how many of us are boomers, many of us are we've been many days on this earth. And Theo for me is a constant reminder to never let that child die within you.
Yeah,
Yes.
That child
yeah,
is still alive, and so many adults put to death the child within them. And, you know, I'll just be kind of a little more esoteric on this. You know, the Jesus dude said, unless you are like a child, you won't go into the kingdom of heaven.
He says you can't see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
can't.
You
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
see.
you perceive it. You just can't perceive it. It's not there,
That's it.
because it can be right next to you, but you don't see it because you've closed it off. You've closed
Yes.
off that part of you, that
Do you know what
lens.
that is, Jenny? You know what people do? They have forgotten how to play.
Yeah, be like a child. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I
You
See,
mean,
know, the
you know,
biggest part of child to me is the wonder fact. The
yeah,
yeah.
wonder. They are
Yeah.
wondering about everything because everything is new. So
mm,
that's the key to enter into the gate of the mind of a child. What is that? You
It,
yeah,
know?
it, and
yeah,
Wow,
for
what's that?
children,
What's that?
the impossible is always the possible.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, it's
Yes.
why we, you
There's
know,
so much out there trying to put that child to death. Like the speeding up children's growth is part of that too,
Mm,
making them, and the West is terrible for that. In Middle
yes.
Eastern countries, most children don't go to school until they're 7 because they recognize that those first 7 years should be with the maternal and the groups of people around them for to make us the man, so to speak. And we don't. We've pushed, and actually in that pushing, we regress intelligence in the UK. Intelligence is regressing dramatically for many reasons, but one of the reasons is that they're not being taught as a child. They're trying to push adult subjects onto them. Do you know what I mean? And that's actually making them seem more grown up, but actually regressing that inner child intelligence that is intuitive and just knows what's safe to eat and just knows how to play and just knows how to be. And if that gets beaten out of you too much, there's things like for off the hook, I think it is struggling at the minute. There's things like, part of my inner dialogue. I can be grabbing myself in a vision and doing the tango. And at first, it can be quite an angry tango. I can be marching myself back and forth, talking as I'm dancing in this tango. And then suddenly you find that when you can just be honest with you, with no guilt and shame, and stomp that out visually in your feet and hold the connection in your hands at both sides of you and just submit in the middle, you start to flow with that inner dialogue music. You start to be okay with not stepping on the other side of you feet. You start to get in flow with that back and forth. And with that back and forth, any guilt and shame drops away. And
Rhythm.
that's what back the inner child the most. I feel guilt and shame is
And see
is
what corrects it, Jen, is the rhythm. Just think about it too.
rhythm.
When babies are in
Oh,
distress, what do?
yeah,
We rock. We rock
yeah,
them.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
about the rhythm. We hold that rhythm, and that's
And
how
the
you
state in a whole
restructure.
because it moves, it's moving,
Yeah.
it can stay at the same height, but it's moving its muscles in flow back and forth, back and forth. And when you're doing that with a snake or doing that dancing with yourself in a vision of the hook, it's like all of a sudden then you start to see that DNA like movement where you are flowing, your two becomes one, and that one isn't the judge, it's just, or the narrator, it's just part of the other part of you. And the other part of you is always okay, because there's always, even in the depths of despair, there's always something to build on. There's always something to release from. There's always something to go forward with. So I really wanted to say that to Off the Hook there, because I feel you feel like you're not doing that good of a job on this inner work journey that you're going on. But actually, from my intuition, I'm very pleased with where you are. I'm cheering you on and saying, feel that, feel it, really feel what you're feeling right now. It's okay. We've got you. We
Mhm.
can be your net, but
Yeah.
you are your net, and we'll support you in that. And
Yeah.
actually, for you, it feels like you're not doing very much very quickly. You're shifting mountains within yourself because
Mountain.
you're sticking with it, and
Yeah.
that's when the flow will come in. And I just see you on the other side of this, coming into this chat saying, I had this breakthrough. I started the rhythm, and the rhythm just became the dance, and the dance just became the beat, and the beat just became the flow. And now I'm okay with it all. And you're letting go of so much and retaining so much more than you realize. I think I find that very important. I've been watching you for the last few weeks intuitively, and I think you're doing great for what you're dealing and going through. I think you're doing great.
See, reward yourself. And I saw a source frequency that they're
I saw too.
expecting a child, I guess November.
I keep
And
hearing, Wayne, a midwife. Look for a midwife. Look for home birth options. That might be a great savings and a great situational improvement. So just an option.
yeah,
But definitely sending you energy for this to manifest for you. Godspeed
and
and grace for that.
the universe isn't lacking anything.
Yeah.
It's in, I
Bountiful.
can really get into a whole teaching on that, but I can tell you there are ways that it's a matter of speaking favor over your finances. You don't, and finances will flow. You don't
Mhm.
have to have a job. You don't have to have family or the money or what have you. It's quite amazing if how you can attract financial resources. But I will say this, it always starts with a seed.
Yeah.
So if you sow into someone else's life, make sure that you speak of that seed as for what it is. In case, let's say, we're having a baby and we need X amount of money before the baby comes and what have you. Well, there is 1,001 different ways that you can sow into those people around you, even strangers. And when you do that act of kindness, that act of benevolency, whatever it is, sometimes it's just a smile, but you always give thanks to however you want to frame it, the cosmos, the universe, whoever, for that need being met because you're sowing that seed. Many people will sow seeds, but they'll never name those seeds. And as a result, the harvest is a no-name harvest.
You know
But if
what's so
you,
interesting?
what's that,
Another
hon?
dream. Brian had a dream last night and he saw us in the garden and we were planting seeds.
Wow. Well, there you
And it's
go.
so funny when you just said name it, I just thought of source frequency and I said sunflower, the symbol of prosperity.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
sunflowers for you all, prosperity. Plant those seeds, guys. We're planting them now, ready for our harvest. It's coming. Believe it, and it will be because it is coming.
And the thing about a
Bound.
harvest, and I'm glad you brought up the sunflower. It's a perfect analogy. So a seed never produces just a single seed. A seed sown and a seed claim will bring back 100-fold principle. It can bring 1,000-fold principle into play.
Yes. That
So
sunflower has a lot of babies in it, a lot of baby
the
seeds.
gardening thing, Grandpa Brian, with you seeing that is quite, that's very symbolic. It's very,
Yeah.
That's very telling because, yeah, that's what we
Everything's
do on these shows. We're
insane.
sowing seeds. That's
Yeah.
why I speak favor every time. It's a seed and it never comes back without prospering in the thing for which I sent it to do.
Never
Yeah.
lacking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
The
far out,
green.
that's all I got to see. That makes me happy, you know.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Oh, Lady Ellie, I'm so glad. I gave her goosebumps. I love when that happens. I love when that
Amazing.
happens.
Well,
It
that's
makes
what
me
she
so happy.
said. Exactly. I see that Pearl is in here. Uh, oh, Joyce says my room is sunflowers. Wow.
Oh,
Okay.
I love it.
Uh, John says my sister in Georgia has squirrels destroying her sunflowers.
Oh,
They're interesting creatures. We got them around here. Yeah.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
mean,
for
woo.
the late source energy for the pregnancy, you should look out for some student midwifery places because there might be a very nice, wonderful student nurse who might just be right on time in a course for needing some practical experience. And you might just get, I feel if you put that seed out there, she's already there, ready for you.
I
And
think so too. That's what I'm feeling, Jen. I'm feeling that too.
yeah. I don't think it'll cost you any money at all. I think it's going to be a
Very
recipe.
affordable. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, of her
Yeah.
needing for a course and you needing this for your care. And I feel it's going to be a reciprocity thing of, in the latter stages of this course, she needs to fill this practical care and I feel it'll be beautiful care for you. So claim
Yeah.
that name, claim that in mine and
My
Trina's name
My
and
nieces, we've had some of them that are doing the midwives, and we've had some that have gone to do the hospital one. And I think now they're all looking at going into the midwives because they've seen the difference, and they liked what their older sister did the best. And this is going to be her third baby and doing it this way, and she absolutely loves it. So just saying, I think getting back to the old ways and using a lot of the doulas and these things are going to be the new wave of energy that's coming. We're going to start
yeah.
doing it
Well,
ourselves.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what it was. My granny, it was
Yeah.
community ministry, literally, for my granny and my great granny, it was the other mothers that were very skilled because they were seeing births. And again, that's taken away from childhood because
Yeah.
quite normal for you to hear your mummy screaming and knowing that she was in labor because you heard lots of mummies screaming in labor. You heard lots of, and that so you were part of the whole process. Now, again, like death, birth is so detached. The child has to wait for visit and hours to go and see its sibling, and it's very clinical. And then they have to go away and leave mummy and child when actually that's a lot for the existing child to take on, for jealousy and separation anxiety. Whereas at home, the baby just cuddles into the mummy while the baby's feeding on the mummy. They don't care. So we've lost a lot of that. So I see your family, Trina, doing that is a huge gift to humanity, bringing that back in. And the name Elaine really speaks out to me regarding this whole midwifery thing and the care. So keep an eye out for the name
Elaine,
Elaine. Elaine, yeah,
that's my
yeah. Like,
grandmother who just passed.
right. No
That's my
way. That's
grandma. That is my
God.
grandmother. Yes.
Coming through
Oh,
really.
interesting. So she'll be with
Yeah.
you, whoever. That's amazing. Wow.
Right. Well,
Wow.
That's
Elaine,
not a
because
common name.
no, it's not. I don't know any
No,
Elaines.
no, it's not a
Uh,
common name. I'm like, Jenny, that's my grandma.
okay. Okay. Well, you've got spiritual cover as well. So as if you ever
Yeah.
And
like,
by the way, source frequency, it never hurts
okay.
to call to your spirit guides, your ancestors.
Not just
That,
that, the child. The
well,
child
yeah,
has
it
the
was
most powerful
that's what I was thinking.
protection.
This child coming in, this child's connected
Oh, yeah.
to spirit forces as well.
They're not here yet.
I mean, we throughout,
Yeah.
the stories and the myths and the scriptures, however you want to see it, we've seen extraordinary things of children in the womb. They
Yes.
they have this self-awareness, this ability to express individuality and gifts. You never know. Your child may be, a
Oh, so
potential
see,
priestess.
let people write things. I wish I was close to you because I'm like Trina, I get excited. Let people write wonderful words on your tummy each
Yeah.
month. Walk around with wholeness, connectedness, love, prosperity. The
Ground,
writing
ground,
that
ground.
yeah, because you're holding that water around that baby. Impregnate that baby with frequency. And I'm gonna be sending you, Trina's gonna be sending you, everybody in the chat and Wayne, but yeah, write on your tummy, write on your tummy, write to your baby, because the water will absorb the thought process that you put behind those words, just as it does when you label water or rice on a jar,
Yeah.
you're doing
Can
it
I add one
right.
other thing to that is to also read the child is
Yeah.
hearing. And if you have
Yeah.
a particular type of music, but what this is really important is that if you will speak the word over that child, you
Yes.
begin to open a doorway and pathway. What I mean by that, you can begin to speak to that child that that child will never know hunger. That child will never know want. That child will be able to achieve and to excel. And
No, let's
those
go.
are the seeds. That's what I
Those are,
mean,
yes, they
you
are.
know,
They change the water, and the water is the
they
the the,
do.
the medium of their growth. So
Mhm.
yes, what wow, that is so true and
Well,
so
that's how
powerful. And
Jesus
yes,
turned the water into
water into
wine. It
wine.
was the
Yeah.
frequency, it was the
It's
word.
alchemy.
Yeah,
Alchemy.
Yes.
yeah,
Water can change state based on the
yeah,
focus of the individual doing it. Yes,
yeah.
water to
Oh,
wine.
I'm so excited, source frequency. I just stand in agreement with everybody here in the chat, with
Yeah,
Trina, with Will, and everybody who loves you,
yeah.
past, present, and future. I call upon your ancestors and your partner's ancestors, and we sing and dance and praise this wonderful creation building inside of you right now. And we put all of our protections over you, over this baby. We call upon this baby to be free, to be its fullest potential, and we will champion it through its life. But we give it the foundation of love coming from all of us, 1,000-fold.
Wow.
Let it be under your feet, let it be up your back. Let our words and our love soothe your muscles as you go through this pregnancy. What a gift you are to be in this community and be with us and procreating and recreating and bringing another sovereign being into our community. We're filled with love for you right now, family, and we call upon all family to be connected through the ethers right now and give this baby the best foundations. Give this mummy miraculous abilities to uptake minerals, vitamins, everything that is needed for a healthy mummy, healthy pregnancy, healthy daddy, healthy family. I can feel your ancestors just so thrilled for this strong, strong baby. Let it be so. We call it in, and absolutely without any doubt, so it shall be.
So she does sound healing as a hobby, currently gongs, singing bowls, the
Nice.
didgeridoo, and many
Yes.
others. So you
And
you got it, girl. You got it.
remember too, babies are very high frequency. So she
Mm.
might want to integrate a triangle and a
Oh,
very high pitched sounding bowl, the highest frequencies of the crown, because babies are really in the high frequencies. So that's why they say when you want to work with spirit, ring the bells. It's a higher tone. So just think of that too to balance the earth
Scotty Boy says,
frequencies and the spirit
and
frequencies.
tell the child know that Uncle Scotty is watching their
Yeah.
back.
And there's
I love you,
Katrina
Scotty.
too.
Uncle Scotty's there. You're all right. He's watched my back. You're okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotta love it. Wow, that is so
Yeah.
mahalo.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say to that.
Yeah.
I love this
What
group.
Beautiful.
This is a there. I contend, with the show yesterday, and I'm serious. I really think that if we, as an occultist community, can expand this out and form an actual coalition, I was watching just what we're going through here in the United States, and Jenny, I know you folks are got your own deal over there as well.
Yeah.
it's
And
great.
Lynn was saying, you talked yesterday. She said, wouldn't it be something if there was a representative that had this knowledge that's not taught to the general people, but yet they represent a section of the people, much like your parliament is set up, Jenny. Everyone has a particular representative voice if they reach a certain threshold.
Everything.
And yeah, and we could do that because the knowledge that you two just shared with this beautiful young mother, um, that's what the occult is.
It's
That's
the hidden
representative.
wisdom.
It's
Mhm.
love. It's passing on the wisdom. It's caring that while we're in these mortal bodies, we may be powerful gods as spirit beings, but we're humbled in these bodies, and we have to remind one another, always standing in the gap for one another, because there's going to be times when we're not as strong as we want. But I know this, I could go to Jenny, Trini, Trina, or any other amount of people and say, listen, I need you to help stand with me. And
Send me strength. Yeah.
that is what the occult is. That's why
Yeah.
religion stole that from the occult.
This is the
It
reason.
was the love, it was
Yeah.
this family thing. We had the love in the family way before religion ever came
But
around.
Wayne, why do you think it's been destroyed over and over again? Because when you get communities together that literally do love each other and really, really want to help and serve each other, that breaks the ego down. The ego
Hmm.
has nowhere left to stand as a dominant ruler. It becomes a subordinate helper. So, you know what I
I
mean?
think
It's a
that's why
gift.
they wiped out the Cathars. The
Yes.
Cathars had come
Yes.
upon this esoteric occult knowledge of how to live and love with one another without so much the constraints of, the church.
Yes, it's so
Abs-
amazing too. Can I read this to you? It's just what we were
Sure.
talking about. It's so powerful.
We seem to have a
Okay,
lot of synchronicities here.
big time, big time. One can, of his own choice, be conscious of a certain tree in his garden, or they can be aware of the entire garden. It's about focus. He uses the same faculty of sight to observe both. He uses it exactly the same way. This is the concept of making the two one. When he wants to see all of the garden, he makes his sight enlarge until it takes in all. The larger the expansion, it still includes the smaller. So you see, you must be conscious of the full control of all faculties in both places at the same time. The activity that takes place is really an enlargement of a force field in which the sight acts. The use of your faculty of sight in this projection or expansion of consciousness is accomplished by the raising of the vibratory rate in the optic nerve. The whole process corresponds to the thing that takes place when one uses a field or a glass, like a microscope or a magnifying glass. One gives you a bigger, expanded view, and one locks you down to the smallest particles that you cannot see. So, this is what we're doing. We're creating what we see, and we're creating the energy fields to completely manifest in accordance with what you perceive. So shift your vision, see what you want to see. And this is what they were talking about. The alchemical marriage is when you can be in both states simultaneously. It's just like your breath, in and out, in and out. And when you can see it all at the same time and merge, you can focus the Torah energy that's living in everything all around of us, which is the love field of God, whatever you call, love. It's a frequency field that moves everything in this field. Everything is controlled by this unseen energy. You can operate that through such a level where it can get so big or so small, but you can manifest anything through that if you can see it. So dream, see it. You will be
I
it.
love, I love these people. Rick, I have to say, Rick said, I just
That's
drink Pepsi and smoke weed.
his mum did it when she was pregnant.
Oh, no, that's just too freaking funny. I mean, come on,
If
that's
his
just
mum
funny.
did it when she was pregnant, so he's continued the tradition.
Yeah, I know.
Have
You know,
any of
Trina,
you all been feeling
Oh,
like really like wiped out, like you're getting your butts kicked
oh,
lately? Have any of you all been experiencing that? Waves
I've
of
seen a
where you
lot of
feeling
people.
heavy and
I've
affected
given
by
a lot
energies?
of oil out this week to people. And magnesium gives you an energy boost, but I've given a lot of magnesium oil out to the people this week for that very reason, for them feeling that lethargy, that stuck energy in the afternoons a lot of the time. But from what you were saying there, Trina, Dr. Sai, I think it is,
mm-hmm.
has said you get 1,000 other metronomes, the tick, tick, tick things, and have them all tick-tocking out of sync. Eventually, over time, they all sync up without any
Yes,
kind of other
yes,
interference. And so it's important for source frequency. You go into these energies for everybody, and it's a way of seeing how people also get stuck in a paradigm of a way of thinking, a religion. Because if that's the only people that you're surrounding yourself with, and often religion causes that, it isolates you from the outside world and creates this bubble which feels good. Very quickly they can get you into sync if you're just thinking automatically and not truly thinking and digging deep into your thoughts with that inner dialogue. You can very easily become one of the metronomes that just go in sync with the others, not because that was your path, not because that's your full purpose, but just because that's what you're surrounded by. So it's important as well environmentally that we sync up with what we want to sync up with. And that's
yes.
why nature is so important, because it doesn't have this regard for trying to trap you in. It doesn't mind like a seed if you blow through the forest, as long as you do it with empathy and compassion and reverence. So it allows you to be out of sync with it, but experience it still. So that I just thought that was really interesting from what you were saying to what Dr. Sai said in the chat, that it's great to sync up, but at the same time to have an awareness about syncing up with things too easily or too automatically as well. Do you know what I mean?
You know
Yes.
what I did specifically this week, and it literally felt like it brought me back to life, which I've never tried this herb before, was yarrow. I tried yarrow root.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man, I'm loving it. And I've been doing the magnesium. I do oil and I spray it in my hands and I spray it on the bottom of my feet. And you feel it within a minute. It's such a fast delivery. And it's funny because
26
I've been doing the
on your
magnesium and the yarrow, and I've been doing a lot of grounding. And wow, guys, it's making a huge difference. So just wanted to tell you what's working for me right now in case maybe some of you are looking towards the same thing. And Jenny and I are both with the magnesium right now. This energy that's coming into the planet, it's overcharging us, so we have to deliver it into the earth. So I think grounding is going to be just really big for you. If you're feeling super tired, it's because you're too charged. It's too much energy. So we got to dump and recycle and start processing this stuff, and that's really made a difference for me. So I just wanted to share in case it'll help any of you all.
And by
the
the way,
ground.
happy birthday, Joe
Yes.
Mack. It's turned
Happy
Oh,
birthday.
67.
okay.
By
The
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 way,
ground.
go ahead. Go ahead, Jenny.
There's no magnesium in the soil compared to what there used to be. So there's the chemicals that are being put on the soil is killing off the natural magnesium. So you're listening because there's quite a bit of magnesium in yarrow root. I grow it, and so there's quite a bit of magnesium in there, but there's other things that help you uptake magnesium. So it's so magical, Trina, that as you're grounding, your spirit is in communication and knowing that there's not enough magnesium in this soil, and you're seeking it out, and the earth is telling you where to top it up and how to top it up. That's such a
Mhm.
magical conversation you're having with nature there and
Yeah.
responding. It's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, I do it all the time. I'm like, self, I don't feel good. Self, I need help. Mom, what do I need? Mom, Dad, what do I need? What do I need? What do I need? And then I literally sit and I get still, and then I start to see the images. Or I'll look on the internet and all of a sudden a video will come up. This is da, da, da. And it's just the craziest thing how that works. But every single time I do that. Oh, something's out of whack here. We need something from either inside or the material realm to support the physical realm. So I was like, what is it? Help me discover. And that was what I came up with. Was I was magnesium deficient, and this yarrow was a very important herb I needed to integrate into my diet. And wow, what a difference. And I've been doing the grounding now for 2 weeks, and that's been a huge one. Started with grounding. They're like, girl, connect back to mama. I was like, okay, I will do that. It's a little hot right now. I can't put my feet on the ground. So I bought a grounding mat, but they're like, you need to ground. And I used my rocks. So there's something to this right now that's very powerful for us. Ground, guys. Do you know 20 minutes of grounding releases all of your blood, and it relaxes everything, and all your blood that's sticky and sticking together literally opens up and starts repelling off each other like it's supposed to. It takes away inflammation. There's so many benefits to it, and we just need to start to remember. And I think we're the ones coating the earth. So it's important for us to be giving this frequency into mama, because the earth frequency, we are the ones bringing in the new code from the sun. She codes it through the sun too, but we are very powerful coders for this planet, and it comes through us going from the sun to the earth. So just know you're helping the planet to receive new consciousness, because you guys, you've got the consciousness that we really need to anchor here. So thank you for doing your grounding.
There we go.
Yep.
Well, ladies, we got to wrap it up.
Oh my gosh, you're serious right now.
No,
That went like that, Wayne.
I know. Well, everyone, thank you. By the way, if you put Vicks vapor rub on the soles of your feet before you go to bed, it's another
My
thing.
granny.
Oh, I love that. I love that, Wayne. I forgot about that. Thank you.
Yeah. It
Mhm.
it will take care of those. Someone was talking about cramps and tendon.
Sinuses.
Yeah. So, all right, ladies, see you next week. Love you
Love you
both.
all.
Thank you everyone in the chat
Love you
room.
all.
Someone says you guys could go 2 hours. I know we could.
We could probably go 4.
Yeah, that's just this.
What's that?
So
What's that?
Speak said they've got a confirmation date of the due date, 21st of December. There's the 3, and that's the solstice.
There we
Yeah.
go.
Oh,
Speak to that
wow.
child. That's all I got to say. All right, everybody. Much love. We will see y'all next week again. We love you.
We love you.
Favor and
Love you
ladies.